That's milkshakes, right?
It's so good.
No, silly. Burgers, fries, and milkshakes.
All right.
Well, congrats on the movie. It's
Thanks.
awesome. Really cool. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little emotional a couple times there. There's just like so much love in the movie, and not just romantic love between the two of you, but just for family in general, and it's really sweet. So February is by far the most perfect time for this movie to come out. Now I gotta know, what is the craziest thing that you guys have ever done for love? Hopefully not ever left your planet.
It's tough being in love, man.
I guess
It's hard.
the furthest I've gone, like distance-wise.
Yeah.
I went to Japan recently to
That's
see
huge.
my brother.
Oh, that
and
is
because he's been living out there the last kind of year teaching English.
That's very cool.
more than
So
I've
it's-
done.
So I missed him a lot. So I
Yeah.
went out there to see him for Christmas and New Year, and we partied.
That's love.
Yeah,
That's great
for sure.
fun. That's true
That's
love.
love.
Gosh, that is a really tough question. I don't know if I have the answer for that right now. That is what I was attracted to with this movie as well, is that you know, it's sort of like love knows no bounds, you know, love heals all. Like, we have all of these sort of cliche statements, but they are true. And I think that's what I really responded to with this movie, is that, you know, and even when they came up with the title of this movie, The Space Between Us, I was thinking, you know, what fills that space inevitably is love, and that is what connects people. And this movie is the like redefinition of a long distance relationship.
Totally.
You know,
Interplanetary.
But it is about four people who don't really know what their role is in the world until they find each other.
So what's the hardest thing, or like what are those standout moments when it comes to filming a movie that's partly set on Mars?
Well, we got to do a lot of wire work, which was really fun for the, you know, sort of when I'm running around that track,
Yeah.
and a lot of our floating in space. And so that was really interesting because I really hadn't done any wire work before, so that was definitely part of the filming on Mars experience. Just the fact that you have to have such a specific kind of personality to be willing to leave everything behind and go and be in a place where you know you will probably never go back to Earth. In this case, they end up going back to Earth, but she really goes back for Gardner. You know, she goes back because she feels like she's got to give this kid a life, and she doesn't want to go back at all. So I guess for me, that was also something really fascinating to explore, a person who is ready to say goodbye to everything. So that was a really interesting kind of someone who would gravitate towards that sort of solitude, and also obviously in the interest of forwarding mankind. So she has a very big reason, but she also has personal reasons.
So Gardner is obviously not used to anything on Earth, and he has to get used to it really quickly. So if you guys were to give advice to anyone who had never been to our planet before, what's the one thing you think they should know before they hop off that rocket ship?
Don't look people in the eye. Just don't.
Whoa, that's good advice, though. I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
'Cause people are mean.
Yeah, especially in LA, right? People don't like to be looked in the eye over here.
No. I would say drink lots of water. Go
I
for
was
it.
going to ask, where do you look?
Where do you look?
In LA.
I always look at people's mouths.
Yeah, I
'cause
always look at
can't
people's mouths. What is
hear-
that? I always look at people's
can't hear
mouths.
what's happening, so I'm like, what's she saying?
Yeah.
So maybe the mouth.
Wow. It's kind of a mess. It's kind of a mess filled with a bunch of great people. Boy, you would have to tell them so many things, right? Like, getting on a train would be, you know, that's what's so interesting, is somebody who is theoretically a young adult and yet has none of the training that of anything. He sees a horse and doesn't know what to
Right.
do. But I guess I just have to say, look for the good people, right? Like, look for someone who looks you in the eye and just like, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah. And like, this is a sci-fi movie, obviously, and it's really cool to see a sci-fi movie that people of different ages are really going to gravitate towards.
Yeah.
What do you hope audiences take away from this movie?
You know, that was one of the things that really, like, I think so much now with talking about, you know, this is a movie for the whole family, and that's become sort of this, a general statement. I think this really is, though, because I guess what I hope people will take away from it is, I just think it's a genuinely beautiful story being told, and it's one of my favorite things about movies, is that it's this kind of visual storytelling. Like, it reminds me of the things that really moved me, and you know, when I was a kid and the lights went down in a theater, and I went into another world and came out feeling like a fuller person. And this movie is, you go on this journey and you really do come out just feeling like there are people, if you haven't found your person yet, they are out there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily even mean romantic. It's like, what I love so much about this movie too is the relationship between Britt Robertson's character and my character. It's an unexpected connection between these two women who share a love for this one person, in very different ways. And I guess just, sort of hope. It really is a very hope-filled movie.
And what is your guys' favorite thing about her? Obviously, that's a question that gets asked a lot throughout the movie.
I know. Ugh. So over this question. No, I'm kidding. Favorite thing. I mean, it's a toss-up between humans and animals. You know what I mean? It just depends on what kind of human and what kind of animal, or depends on the day.
Yeah,
but I would say
sure.
that.
Between me. For
Between
me,
you.
For you.
For me, it's between
Us.
I mean, between us. Hey,
Plug.
humans and animals, obviously very important, but I think they're so important that
Yeah.
you kind of you have to
They're
have them.
given.
And then after that, it's food and
I was
music.
gonna say, I think
Yeah,
mine
yeah.
might be
Food
Shake Shack right
and
now.
music.
What? Shake Shack? I still have not hit up the LA Shake
You
Shack.
gotta do it.
It's my fave.
You
That's
gotta
milkshakes,
do
right?
it. It's so good.
No, silly. Burgers, fries, and milkshakes.
All right.
The best.
Come hang out with us on Listed. For weirdest TV and movie fan theories, click to the right, and click to the left for movies that need to be rebooted.